Parkinson's disease. An adaptation video project. Created by Carla, Bobby, Mariah, and Taylor. This video is to provide resources to exercise professionals when working with individuals with Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disease and appears when cells that produce dopamine die. Individuals with PD may experience symptoms including, but not limited to, the following: tremors, stiffness and slowness, impaired balance, rigid muscles, and fatigue. At this point, you're probably wondering, what does Parkinson's have to do with me? Well, Parkinson's affects approximately 1.5 million Americans, with most of them being over the age of 50. Within this video, we will be looking at adaptations to exercise, adaptations of equipment, common challenges, and suggestions for appropriate communications when working with this population. Let's get started with balance exercises. Balance exercises are important for those with Parkinson's disease in order to reduce the risk of falls as well as to increase mobility. Such exercises, like the tandem stance, will help to improve balance with a narrow stance. Make sure client holds onto the railing or chair in front of them for extra support when needed. If client is unable to perform with such a narrowed stance, take a step forward, allowing for a wider base for support while still allowing them to hold onto the railing when necessary. The side-to-side lean also helps to increase one's balance while shifting weight. Benefits of performing balance exercises with patients with Parkinson's disease include decreasing the risk of falling, helping with increased mobility, and help with everyday functional movements. The single leg stance allows for improved balance while only on one base of support.
Because poor posture is often one of the first noticeable changes in individuals with Parkinson's, we should encourage postural exercises be added to their daily lives. To help the individual develop good habits, you can suggest that they pick a spot in their home that they walk past often and use it as a reminder to stop and do a quick posture check. This would include standing with their low back and shoulder blades touching the wall, as well as trying to put the back of the head against the wall by tucking the chin in if able, but they should be sure not to tilt the head back. Once they have achieved the correct posture, walk away from the wall and try to maintain that posture throughout the day. Many postural exercises that are performed up against a wall can also be done seated by using the back of the chair or by having a bench up against a wall, such as the one we have set up. These adaptations will allow the individual to sit if they are unable to stand for extended periods of time. With postural exercises such as the wall angels and shoulder retractions being demonstrated, the goal is to strengthen the upper back to provide the support needed to maintain a more upright posture. To complement the strengthening of the upper back to improve, maintain, or prevent decline of posture, it is also important to stretch the anterior muscles of the chest, as we will demonstrate in the flexibility training section.
Strength exercises are important to perform as they help to improve balance and posture, reduce risk of falls, and help with performing activities of daily living. Strengthening the lower body is important for improving gait, and strengthening the upper body will benefit the performance of active daily living tasks. Some exercises are toe taps and heel raises. These can be done seated or standing with support if needed. Sit-to-stands are also good. And if balance is an issue, a chair can be placed in front for support, or reaching backwards while sitting down will help with lowering. Side leg raises and front and backwards leg raises are also good, holding onto a rail or chair for support if needed. Standing calf raises holding onto a railing or bar if needed. Performing upper body exercises can be done body weight only or with light weights or wrist weights. Some exercises are forward straight arm raises, lateral straight arm raises, shoulder press, seated single leg raises with a ball or towel between the knees for support, and for more of a challenge you can add ankle weights.
Another equipment modification that can be used is a steady bar or railing that is pressed up against a wall for added balance.
Endurance is important for maintaining abilities of performing daily functions. Step-ups as shown or walking around a mall or track are ways to build endurance. Gradually increase the amount of time that you spend walking or marching, holding onto a rail for support or seated in a chair if required. Marching on the spot, whether it be seated or standing, is also a way to build endurance.
Some safety tips to keep in mind while stretching. Stretch slowly, avoid sudden jerky movements, hold stretch in a comfortable position for 20 to 30 seconds, avoid stretching to the point of pain, and don't forget to breathe. Have client do a sidearm stretch, but making sure they maintain proper posture throughout the whole stretch. A hip flexor stretch will help stretch out any tight muscles in and around the quad and hip area. Make sure their back is straight and the leg is off the floor, dangling beside the table. A calf stretch will allow for increased range of motion in the calf region. Make sure client holds their hands on the wall in front of them for their added support. The door stretch helps to stretch out any tight muscles around the chest area. This also will help to improve posture as well. Stretching will help to maintain range of motion in joints and muscles that can become tightened over time due to poor posture or low activity levels.
Since the muscle rigidity and bradykinesia can affect the facial muscles as well, talking and swallowing may become more difficult for persons with Parkinson's. You can suggest that they perform exercises that target the facial muscles in order to maintain mobility in these areas.
Now let's look at some special considerations of individuals with Parkinson's disease. Another adaptation that can be done when working with individuals with PD is to avoid crowded gym areas and tripping hazards and clutter due to their impaired balance. Individuals with Parkinson's disease can often get stuck or freeze in the middle of an action that they are performing. This often occurs because of their rigid muscles and tremors that they experience. These individuals want to initiate a movement, but their neural processing does not fire fast enough, causing the motor patterns to be delayed in getting to their muscles. Although all of the safety and other considerations previously mentioned are important when working with all individuals, they are especially important when working with special populations. Here are some other helpful tips that you can use when working with an individual with Parkinson's disease. Ensure that you are taking your Parkinson's medications on time for maximum mobility. Concentrate on doing the exercises correctly. Ensure that you are drinking a lot of water to stay hydrated. Allow yourself anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes to warm up and to cool down. Start with shorter periods of exercise and gradually increase. And finally, we suggest to join a group or to find an exercise buddy.
We hope you all learned some valuable information about Parkinson's and exercise. Thanks for tuning in.